Hypertension, the silent killer, is one of the major threats to human health worldwide. When the blood pressure goes up, it leads to so many complications involving the eyes, the kidneys, the brain, and the entire body. However, more often than not, the patients are not aware that the blood pressure has gone up. Until and unless they are hit by the severe complications, most people do not take care to maintain the blood pressure within normal limits. Yoga offers us an effective remedy. It attacks the cause of hypertension, that is the mind. That increased stress of the mind. Everyone feels stress at the workplace, at home, even school children feel stress in this modern world. Yoga reduces the stress. Yoga helps us to face the stress better, changes our attitude towards the stress. If you are not stressed by the stressor, you don't feel the stress. It is found that in hypertension, the sympathetic nervous system is overactive. Yoga helps reduce the sympathetic overactivity, helping to balance our autonomic nervous system. When there is autonomic balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, we find that normalcy is resulting in the blood pressure. Yoga works at the psycho, neuro, immune and endocrine levels. When this neuroendocrine mechanism is normalized, definitely the blood pressure comes back to the normal limits. Yoga can help us to bring our blood pressure back to normal through various mechanisms. 1, by reducing the stress. 2, by balancing this autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And 3rd, which is very important, by restoring the baroreceptor reflex mechanism. The baroreceptors are pressure receptors situated in major arteries, and a very important receptor is called the carotid sinus, that is situated at the junction of the division where the common carotid artery in the neck divides into the internal and the external carotid. This carotid sinus, which is in the neck region, is responsible for helping maintain the blood pressure within normal limits. It is found that postures where the head is below the heart, such as the standing postures Padahasta, where the head is below the heart, Padotana, the head is below the heart, and the topsy-turvy postures such as Sarvangasana and Viparita Karani, all of these can help restore the baroreceptor reflex to normalcy, bringing the blood pressure back to normal limits. A very wonderful mechanism by which the yoga works at restoring balance at all levels: physical balance, emotional balance, and mental balance. All of these contribute to reducing the blood pressure to the normal limits. In this presentation, we shall be learning various practices such as asanas, the pranayamas, the relaxation, and some meditation to help combat this rise in blood pressure. Practices such as the Anulom Vilom and the Savitri Pranayama, that are key practices of the Geethananda tradition, are introduced in this presentation. It is not necessary that you do all the practices every day. Please consult a qualified yoga therapist, and depending on your age, your gender, your physical condition, they will help you to devise schedules based on these practices, with importance given either to the asana, the relaxative asanas, or to practices such as the pranayamas, or to practices such as the relaxation and meditation. I wish you all the best in this journey from the state of ill health to that state of optimum health. Namaskar.
Nasarga Mukhabhastrika. Nasarga Mukhabhastrika is a forceful expulsion of the breath through the mouth that can accompany different movements to relieve our pent-up stress. Take up a comfortable standing position and then start to shake your hands as vigorously as possible to loosen up the accumulated tensions of your daily life. Visualize all the tensions that have accumulated in your wrist and elbow joints, getting a good shake up by this action. When you have got the tensions loosened up, take in a deep breath through your nose and clench your fist as if catching hold of all your tensions and stress. Now, with a powerful blast through your mouth, whoosh away all your accumulated tensions and stress as forcibly as possible. Again, shake your hands as fast as possible. Breathe in and catch hold of the tension in your fist. Throw it all away with a blast. Make sure that you are using your diaphragm muscle vigorously while blasting out breath in this practice. Perform this practice 3, 6 or 9 times as necessary. After performing 3 to 9 rounds of this practice, relax in the standing position and enjoy the feeling of relief that sweeps through your arms as you relax with some deep breathing. Hasta Kona Kriya. Stand in Samastiti Asana with your arms by your sides. Slowly breathe in and lift your right arm over your head. Try to extend the arm over your head towards the left as far as possible without bending it. This gives a good stretch to the entire right side of the body. Slowly start to breathe out and lower your arms back to the side. Perform the practice on the opposite side by lifting your left arm over your head while breathing in. Extend it as far towards the right as possible without bending it. Feel the excellent stretch on the entire left side of your body. Lower your arm back to your side while breathing out. Repeat the practice a few more times for maximum benefit. Hasta Kona Kriya helps to stretch the musculature of the arms, shoulders, and paraspinal area in a way not done in our day-to-day lives. This helps trigger the relaxation response in these tissues that are normally tense due to disuse, misuse, and abuse. A sense of profound relaxation is obtained after the sincere and regular practice of this activity, that is also known as the Ardha Kati Chakrasana, as it provides a half stretch to the hip region. Trikonasana. Stand in Samastiti Asana. Place your feet 2 to 3 feet apart and stretch the arms to the sides so that they are pulling the chest in opposite directions. Turn to the right side and slowly bring the right hand down to the right foot and place the palm of the right hand on the ground in front of the right foot. Look up at the middle finger of the left hand. Let the entire torso get a good twist and stretch. Hold the position for 30 seconds while performing deep breathing. Release and come back up to the open arm position. And then do the opposite side by placing your left hand down in front of the left foot. Hold the position for 30 seconds while performing deep breathing. When ready, slowly come back up to the Samastiti Asana and relax with a few rounds of deep breathing. Padahastasana. Stand in Samastiti Asana and slowly raise your arms up as you breathe in. Maintain the stretch and bend forward, bringing your hands to the ground as you breathe out. Place your palms on either side of your feet. Breathe in and look up, stretching your neck. Breathe out and bring your forehead to your knees. This posture gives a good stretch to the entire spine and provides an improved flow of blood to the upper part of the body by virtue of being one of the poses where the head is below the heart. When ready, breathe in and come up to the standing pose by slowly raising your arms and torso in a steady manner. Bring your hands back to your sides and relax in the Samastiti Asana. Padottanasana. Take a firm Samastiti Asana with your weight balanced on your feet. Spread your feet apart and stand in a steady manner. Lift your arms up to the shoulder level and stretch them to the sides as if they are pulling your chest in opposite directions. Breathe in and stretch your arms upward, keeping them parallel to each other above your head. Breathe out and slowly bring your hands down until they are touching the ground in between your feet. Breathe in and lift your head and give a healthy stretch to your entire back. Breathe out and place your head on the ground in between the legs with your hands placed palm down on the ground on either side of your head. Hold the position for 50 to 20 seconds. When ready, release the posture by lifting the head on an in-breath. Then slowly lift the hands over the head and come back to the standing position in a slow and steady manner. Relax in the Samastiti Asana with a few rounds of deep breathing. Sukhasana. To perform Sukhasana, the pleasant posture, sit on the ground with both your legs stretched out in front. Bend your left knee and then your right to pull the legs in and sit with your legs crossed at the ankles. Clasp your hands together to form the Yoga Mudra with fingers of your right hand dominant over the left. Sit straight and perform deep and controlled breathing. Sukhasana, the comfortable posture, is an excellent pose for relaxation, concentration, and meditation. It can be performed by most people in spite of their stressed out physical condition that prevents them from attaining to more complicated sitting postures. Perform the Sukha Pranayama by breathing in and out for an equal count of 6 while sitting in this comfortable posture. Vajrasana. To perform this asana, sit on the ground with both your legs stretched out in front. Slowly bend both your knees and come into a kneeling posture. Gently sit down on your heels so as to put the weight of your entire body on your heels and ankles. Try to keep the ankles and heels of both feet as close together as possible. Sit straight with your spine erect and both your palms on the respective thighs. Perform a few rounds of deep and controlled breathing while in this posture. Vajrasana, the thunderbolt posture, is an invigorating posture that helps us to generate and conserve the vital pranic energies for health and well-being. This posture may be done after any meal as it helps to improve the digestive process greatly. When ready, slowly come back up onto the knees and then relax by sitting on the ground with your feet stretched out in front. Shake your feet a few times and then thump your thighs to relieve the legs of any accumulated tension. Sapurna Shashasana. Sit in Vajrasana and bring your hands forward to place your forearms on the ground with palms facing down and your elbows touching the knees. Raise your head and bend your back as much as possible. Breathe in and out as deeply as possible for 3 to 6 rounds. Feel the positive tension that develops against your diaphragm as you breathe deeply in this position. After a few rounds of deep breathing, release your head and let it dangle forward for some relaxation. Repeat this incomplete rabbit posture with breath awareness twice more to complete a set of 3 rounds at each sitting. After performing the practice as required, release the pose and come back to Vajrasana. Perform some head rolling and head turning to release any strain that may have accumulated in your neck during the practice. Purna Shashasana. From Vajrasana, bring your hands forward and place your palms on the ground directly in front of your knees. Your wrists and knees should be as close as possible. Keep your arms straight and lift your head and look up as far back as possible. Perform 3 to 6 rounds of deep and controlled breathing into the mid-chest while holding this final position. After performing the required rounds of breathing, let your head relax onto your chest for a few seconds before repeating the practice 2 more times at each sitting. After performing 3 rounds of practice, release the position and come back up to the Vajrasana. Place your palms back on your thighs and perform a few rounds of head rolling to help dissipate any tension in the neck and shoulder region. Chatushpadasana. Sit in Vajrasana. Place both your palms on the ground in front of you and lift up until you are in a four-footed pose. Your weight should be equally balanced on your two hands and knees. Keep your body parallel to the ground and perform deep and rhythmic breathing. When we perform Chatushpadasana, our body organs are free from the negative effects of gravity that are otherwise present during the upright stance of our daily life. After performing the posture for a comfortable period of time, slowly relax back to the Vajrasana and enjoy the feeling of relief that is produced by this simple yet effective posture. Chatushpada Kriya. Take up a comfortable Chatushpadasana and start moving around your area in one direction while using all the joints of your legs and arms. This is very useful for those suffering from neck and back troubles as it takes the load of the body weight off the spine. Chatushpada Kriya is good for patients of mild to moderate arthritis but must be done carefully and on a soft surface to avoid trauma to the knees. The upright stance of the human being is one of the main causes of many health-related problems due to the negative effects of gravity on our internal organs, back and blood vessels. Repeat the practice by moving around in the opposite direction. Chatushpada Kriya neutralizes the negative effects of gravity on the human body and helps correct lumbago, organ prolapse, piles, and varicose veins that are primarily caused as a result of our standing upright on our feet. Continue moving around in the four-footed posture and then when ready, slowly relax back to the Vajrasana. Vyagraha Pranayama. The tiger breath helps relieve numerous musculoskeletal problems that are the bane of modern life. Take up the Chatushpadasana with your weight evenly distributed between your hands and knees. Start breathing in and out for an equal count of 6. While breathing in, slowly lift your head and arch your back downwards. Then breathe out slowly and lower your head while arching your back upwards. Vyagraha Pranayama helps utilize all sections of our lungs in a balanced and controlled manner, thus energizing the whole body with healing pranic energy. This is also very good for those suffering from musculoskeletal disorders of the joints. It is a simple and yet effective practice to prevent and manage the numerous gynecological disorders of women and is a boon for the pregnant woman. It is an important component of rejuvenation and rehabilitation. When ready, slowly relax back to the Vajrasana for a period of quiet contemplation. Meru Asana. Sit in Vajrasana. Come forward and perform the four-footed Chatushpadasana. Straighten your knees and arms and raise your buttocks up until the soles of both your feet are flat on the ground. Keep your hands and feet in parallel so that the right hand and right leg as well as the left hand and leg are in a single line. Perform a few rounds of regular breathing while holding the pose and contemplate the steadiness and might of a huge mountain. When ready, release the pose and come back to the Chatushpadasana and then the Vajrasana for some relaxation. Chiri Kriya. This excellent breath and body movement coordination activity, named after the cricket, is performed from the Chatushpadasana. Take in a long, slow and deep breath and stretch your right leg straight back along the ground. Lift it as high as possible and look up to perform the Sharabhasana. On the out breath, bring your leg down and lower your head until your forehead touches your right knee. Perform this complete cycle of the cricket movement 3 times on the right side before relaxing back to the Chatushpadasana. To obtain equal benefits for both sides, perform the practice on your left side. Excellent spinal health is developed by the regular practice of this breath movement cycle that can even be quite meditative and contemplative when done in a slow and steady manner. Relax into the Shashangasana with your arms stretched out in front and then finally come back to the Vajrasana. Ushtrasana. Ushtrasana, the camel posture, is done from the heel-sitting Vajrasana. On an incoming breath, raise your body off your heels and come up onto your knees. Keep your eyes open and slowly back bend. Take your hands back and catch hold of your heels with your hands. Push your lower back forward to help attain a good posture. Once you have reached this final position, do half a dozen forceful Bhastrikas or bellows-like breaths with total awareness on the movements of your diaphragm. Breathe in through your nose and blast out through your mouth. This practice is known as the Nasarka Mukha Bhastrika. Slowly sit down while breathing out and come back to the Vajrasana. Repeat the practice 2 more times. It is important that you keep your eyes open in order to avoid fainting or falling over, especially in the beginning, as your brain has to get used to the new patterns of circulation that occur in this posture. The camel posture stretches the spinal column and produces a healthy spine and resilient back muscles. It helps strengthen the diaphragm and the solar plexus by building up physical power, endurance, and resistance to diseases. It also massages and stimulates abdominal organs through the extensive movements of the diaphragm. Slowly come back to the Vajrasana and relax with some deep abdominal breathing for a few minutes. Gomukhasana. Sit in the Vajrasana with your spine as erect as possible. Cross your knees with the right leg over the left and then bring your feet back so that you are sitting between the heels of your crossed feet. Perform the Gomukha Mudra by taking your right hand over your right shoulder and catching it from behind by your left hand. Fix your gaze on the tip of your upright elbow. This creates a healthy circulation in the upper part of the body and massages the tissues of the neck, shoulder, and upper areas of the spinal column. Slowly release the hand and leg positions and come back to Vajrasana for a short period of relaxation with deep breathing. Perform the practice on the opposite side to create a balanced effect on both halves of your body. It also releases unhealthy tension that tends to accumulate in the upper spinal and neck regions from sedentary desk jobs and physical inactivity. Slowly release the hand and leg positions and come back to Vajrasana for a short period of relaxation with deep breathing. Vakrasana. Sit erect with your legs stretched out in the Uttanasana. Bend your right knee and place the right foot by the side of the left knee. Turn to your right and place your right hand on the ground behind you to support your erect position. Bring your left arm round the outer side of the right knee and catch hold of the right big toe. Turn your head and look back over your right shoulder. The erect knee acts as a fulcrum for getting maximum twist of the spine. Keep your torso as straight as possible. Hold the posture for 10 to 30 seconds with soft breathing. Release the posture and come back to the Uttanasana. Repeat the practice on the opposite side. This posture gives an excellent massage to the abdominal organs and is very useful for those suffering from diabetes as well as digestive disorders. It is also useful for back and neck problems. Purvottanasana. In Uttanasana, place the hands behind the back with the palms on the ground. On an in-breath, lift the body so that the entire body is arched from the feet that are flat on the ground to the head that is loosely dangling between the shoulders. The fingers must point towards the back. Release the pose on the out-breath and relax in Uttanasana. This is a good complementary pose to both Paschimottanasana and Halasana. Ekapada Uttanpadasana. From Shavasana, lift your right leg up towards the sky on the in-breath. Try not to bend the knee if possible. On the out-breath, lower the leg back to the ground. Use a breath cycle of in and out for a count of 6 or 8. Repeat this 2 more times. Perform the same practice on the left side. Lift your left leg up towards the sky on the in-breath. Try not to bend the knee if possible. On the out-breath, lower the leg back to the ground. Use a breath cycle of in and out for a count of 6 or 8. Repeat this 2 more times. After performing the practice at least 3 times on each side, relax in Shavasana with deep breathing. Those who have back problems should not do straight leg lifting and should do it with bent knee instead to avoid increasing the strain on the back. Dvipada Uttanpadasana. From Shavasana, lift both legs up towards the sky on the in-breath. Try not to bend the knees if possible. On the out-breath, lower the legs back to the ground. Use a breath cycle of in and out for a count of 6 or 8. Repeat this 2 more times. And then relax in Shavasana with deep breathing. Those who have back problems should not do straight leg lifting and should do it with bent knees instead to avoid increasing the strain on the back. Pavanamuktasana. Lie down in a comfortable Shavasana and start to breathe in and out for an equal count of 6 or 8. To perform the single leg Ekapada Pavanamuktasana, bend and lift your right knee while breathing in and simultaneously also lift your head off the ground. Catch hold of your knee and try to touch your knee to your forehead. Hold the position for a few seconds and then while breathing out, slowly release the position and lower your head while at the same time bringing your foot back to the ground. Perform the practice on the opposite side by bringing the left knee to the forehead. Hold the position for a few seconds and then slowly release the position and lower your head while at the same time bringing your foot back to the ground. Repeat this at least 2 more times to complete a set of 3 rounds of the practice. This practice helps relieve the stress and tension that tends to accumulate in the abdominal region. It is also useful to prevent and control the various joint disorders that afflict the limbs and the abdominal organs. Relax in Shavasana for a few minutes with deep and rhythmic breathing while concentrating on your abdominal area that will help to relax you further. To perform the double leg Dvipada Pavanamuktasana, bend and lift both your knees while breathing in. Bring them as close to your forehead as possible while simultaneously raising your head to meet the knees. Hold a few seconds and then while breathing out, lower your head and simultaneously bring your feet back to the ground. Repeat this 2 more times to complete a set of 3 rounds at each session. The Pavanamuktasanas help to prevent and relieve joint pains, gas troubles, and abdominal problems such as indigestion and constipation. They are also useful for persons suffering from diabetes mellitus as well as liver disorders. When ready, relax in Shavasana for a few minutes with deep and rhythmic breathing while concentrating on your abdominal area. Sarvangasana. Lie down in Shavasana, breathe in and lift both legs at a time until you are in the Dvipada Uttanasana. Continue the upward motion and lift your back off the ground using both arms to support the lower back. Keep your trunk and legs in a straight line by supporting the entire trunk on the shoulders. Breathe in a shallow manner while concentrating on the healthy pressure at the throat region. Release the posture after 10 to 15 seconds, and while breathing out, slowly come back to the Shavasana. Roll your head from side to side to ease away any pressure that may have accumulated in the neck. After a short relaxation, repeat the practice 2 more times. Sarvangasana stimulates the endocrine system and is especially good for the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is in charge of body metabolism, and increased metabolic activity burns up the excess calories effectively. Those suffering from neck problems and infections of the head and neck region must avoid Sarvangasana. Viparita Karani. From the supine Shavasana, slowly lift both your legs up as if performing the Sarvangasana. However, the weight of your body should be balanced on your elbows and arms and not on your shoulders. Viparita Karani is the shoulder stand-like mudra, where the weight of the body is supported by the elbows while the hands are placed against the pelvic girdle. Hold the posture in a comfortable manner and then start to perform the incomplete and complete actions of this mudra. Perform the incomplete action by taking a deep inhalation and bringing your straightened legs towards your head so that your body makes an acute angle. Then perform the completed action by pushing your legs away while exhaling the breath. Make sure that your feet are extended in a rigid position, making an obtuse angle. Breathe in, bringing your feet towards your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out, pushing your feet away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue the practice for a minimum of 3 to 9 rounds of this alternation between the incomplete and complete postures with the breath cycle at every session. This mudra promotes a healthy metabolic function by stimulating the pancreas and the uptake of insulin by cells of the body. It is highly recommended for the prevention, control, and possible cure of conditions such as diabetes mellitus and imbalances of the thyroid gland. It is also useful to reduce prolapsed organs such as the uterus or rectum back into their normal location. When ready, slowly bring your legs down to the ground in a phased manner and enjoy a quiet period of relaxation in the Shavasana. Sapurna Matsyasana. Perform Uttanasana with your palms on the ground alongside your body. Bend your elbows and relax back until your body is fully supported on your elbows and forearms. Let your head fall back in a relaxed position and lift your chest to arch your back as high as possible. Breathe in a regular and deep manner, forcing the breath to move primarily in the middle chest area, stretching the mid-lungs and massaging the heart. After performing at least 3 to 6 rounds of deep breathing in this position, come back up to the Uttanasana And then slowly return to the Shavasana. Start to roll your head from side to side to dissipate any tension that may have been created in the neck from this posture. Bhujangasana. Lie down in the face-prone Unmukhasana with your hands by your sides. Bend both your elbows and place the palms on the ground by the side of your chest. Slowly lift your head and then raise your chest until your arms are as straight as possible. Feel the awareness of the bending at the lumbar region. After a few seconds, relax and bring your chest and head down, touching the ground with your chin. Release your hands and then relax in the Unmukhasana. Repeat the practice at least 2 more times for maximum benefit to the muscles of the lower back and posterior region. This practice helps tone up the muscles of the entire posterior region and redistribute any fat from the hip and lower back region. Makarasana. Take up a comfortable face-prone Unmukhasana with your arms by the side of your body. Spread your legs 1 foot apart so that your hips and lower limbs feel relaxed. Lift your head and bring your left hand in front and place down in front of your face. Place your right hand over the left and then relax your chin on the back of your right hand. Enjoy a period of quiet rest and relaxation in this posture that brings to mind the effect of a majestic crocodile enjoying a relaxed sunbath on a river bank. This practice is a useful relaxation posture for those who feel uncomfortable on their back. The shoulder and upper back as well as the lower limbs get an excellent yet non-stressful stretch that triggers off the relaxation response. If you feel that it is too stressful to keep your chin on your hands, you may place your forehead there instead. Bhramari Pranayama. Bhramari is one of the Swara Pranayamas and helps tone up the nervous system, thus producing a state of extreme calmness and bliss. Sit on your heels in the Vajrasana with your spine erect. Perform the Shanmukhi Mudra with your thumbs closing the external auditory canals. The first 2 fingers are then placed over the closed eyelids while the ring fingers regulate the flow of air through the nostrils. The little fingers are placed over the closed lips. This mudra helps in uniting the energies of the nerves of the hands with the facial and trigeminal nerves of the face. Take in a slow and deep breath for 6 counts. Then let out the breath very slowly while making a sound in the nasal passages like the high-pitched sound of a bee. Repeat this practice 3 to 9 times at each sitting in order to obtain maximum benefit by way of stress relief. After performing the required number of repetitions of the Bhramari Pranayama, release your hands back to your thighs and enjoy a few minutes of deep contemplation while sitting in the Vajrasana. Chandra Nadi Pranayama. Sit in Vajrasana and perform Nasika Mudra with your right hand. Close your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale slowly through your left nostril for a count of 4. Now exhale through the same left nostril for a count of 8. Keep your right nostril closed throughout the duration of the practice. Repeat the Chandra Nadi Pranayama for a minimum of 9 rounds at each session. Patients of anxiety, hypertension, diabetes, insomnia, and other stressful conditions can benefit by practicing this pranayama 27 times before breakfast, lunch, dinner, and before going to bed at night. Pranava Pranayama. This pranayama uses the primordial sound of the Omkara and has unlimited healing potential. It harmonizes the body, emotions, and mind and is an important part of the Rishi culture Ashtanga Yoga tradition as taught by Yoga Maharshi Dr. Swami Geethanjali. In this practice, emphasis is first placed on making the sounds A, U, and separately and then in combination. This is followed by the performance of the practice mentally without the audible sound. Sit in Vajrasana and place the Chin Mudra on your thighs. Breathe in deeply into your lower chest area. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out with the sound A. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. Now concentrate on the sound A mentally and perform the same practice 3 times without the audible sound. Curl your fingers inward to form the Chinmaya Mudra and place it on your thighs. Breathe deeply into your mid-chest region. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out with the sound OO. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now concentrate on the sound OO mentally and perform the same practice 3 times without the audible sound. Perform the Adi Mudra by clenching your fists with your thumb in the center and place the mudra on your thighs. Breathe deeply in your upper chest and clavicular regions. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now exhale with the sound Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. Now concentrate on the sound mentally and perform the same practice 3 times without the audible sound. To perform the 4th part of the practice that unites the 3 earlier parts, perform the Adi Mudra and then place it with the knuckles of both hands touching in front of the navel. This is known as the Brahma Mudra. Take a deep breath into the lower, mid and upper chest regions. Now let the breath out with the sounds A, U, Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. Now concentrate on the sound and perform the same practice 3 times without the audible sound. A performance of 3 to 9 rounds of the Pranava Pranayama, when done daily, helps to relax the body, emotion and mind complex and provides complete healing through the production of healing vibrations at all levels of our existence. This is the cornerstone of yogic breath therapy and can produce health and well-being for all. When the concentrative aspect of the practice is taken to its peak, a state of meditation or pranava dhyana can ensue. Shavasana. Lie supine on the ground with your head preferably to the north, enabling your body to be in alignment with the Earth's electromagnetic field. Make sure that your head and body are in a straight line, while your hands are kept relaxed by your side with the palms facing upwards. Bring your feet together and then let your forefeet fall away into a V shape with your heels as close together as possible. Start to consciously watch your breath by letting your awareness settle in the abdominal area. Feel the abdominal movements as your abdomen rises as you breathe in and falls as you breathe out. After a few rounds of this practice, slowly let your awareness settle at the tip of your nose. Feel the cool, inspired air flowing into your nostrils as you breathe in and become aware of the warm, expired air flowing out of the nostrils when you breathe out. Consciously regulate your breath so that the duration of the incoming and outgoing breaths is equal. The inspiration and expiration can be for a count of 4 or 6 initially, and then with practice, elongated to a count of 8 or 10. Perform at least 9 rounds of this conscious deep breathing and enjoy the relaxed sensation that spreads throughout your body. The relaxation in Shavasana can be further deepened by utilizing the Savitri Pranayama to relax and rejuvenate your body, emotions, and mind. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 6. Hold in the breath for a count of 3. Breathe out through your nose for a count of 6. Finally, hold the breath out for a count of 3. Make sure that you are breathing in and out through both nostrils and that you are using the complete yogic breathing. Perform at least 9 rounds of this combination practice that heightens the relaxation to a very deep level. Shavasana is a relaxing and energizing posture in which the body, emotions, and mind are united in the process of conscious relaxation. 15 minutes of Shavasana, properly performed, is equal to more than 1 hour of refreshing sleep. Spanda Nishpanda Kriya. This practice is done from Shavasana using the yogic concept of Spanda and Nishpanda, which means the coupling of tension and relaxation. We consciously tense different parts of our body as much as possible and then relax them to the maximum in a step-by-step manner. This produces a better relaxation response than the mere attempt to relax without putting in the initial effort of tension. Lie down in a comfortable supine Shavasana with your entire body in a single straight line. After a few seconds of relaxation in this position, start to tense your entire body part by part from your toes up to the top of your head until every part of your body is as tense as possible. Hold this 100% tension state of Spanda for a few seconds. Let all the muscles of your entire body be as tense as possible. At the peak of the tension, just let go and immediately relax your entire body 100%. This is the state of Nishpanda. Enjoy this relaxed state and with conscious awareness, continue to watch your breath as it comes in and goes out of your nose. Repeat this practice again by tensing up your entire musculoskeletal system to the state of Spanda and hold it for a few seconds. When ready, let go completely and enjoy the Nishpanda state for a few minutes. To complete the practice, repeat the Spanda Nishpanda Kriya a third time. Be aware of how all your muscles relax in this practice because the relaxation is deepened when it is contrasted with tension. This practice is a boon for those suffering from psychosomatic, stress-induced, and stress-aggravated disorders such as hypertension, diabetes, asthma, insomnia, peptic ulcers, and bowel disorders. It is also useful for patients of musculoskeletal problems such as neck pain, back pain, and arthritis. Anuloma Viloma Kriya. The Anuloma Viloma Kriya is a polarity practice that helps normalize the body's inherent polarity. Two major variations are used to produce a state of deep relaxation. Lie down in Shavasana, the corpse posture, with your head to the north in alignment with the electromagnetic currents of the planet. Perform a few rounds of deep, rhythmic Savitri Pranayama. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold in 1, 2, 3. Breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold out 1, 2, 3. When you have a certain degree of control in the Savitri Pranayama, start to feel the warm golden prana coming from above your head and going down to the feet on the incoming breath. This pranic flow is allowed to completely move beyond the feet. On the outgoing breath, feel the cool silvery apanic flow enter the feet and flow back through the body and out the top of the head. Continue this pranic apanic flow until a state of deep relaxation ensues. Enjoy the sense of complete, unconditional relaxation. Another form of polarity kriya can be done by splitting apart the two flows so that the apanic flow is felt to move downwards only on the left side of the body through the Idanadi, while the pranic flow flows up on the right side of the body through the Pingala Nadi. The Savitri Pranayama is used and the kriya is done over and over again until deep and conscious relaxation is produced. Om Japa. Take up any meditative posture and start to perform the Savitri Pranayama in a 6x3 or 8x4 rhythm. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3. Make an audible pranava Om in the Bindu Nadi. With japa ajapa, Make silent intonation of the pranava Om, concentrating at the same point. Do not let the mind waver away from either a conscious repetition of the mantra Om as japa or as the silent ajapa.
Namaskar. Welcome to this series of videos where we shall take a look at various applications of yoga as a therapy. Yoga is the ancient art and science that has sprouted from the fertile soil of the Indian culture. Yoga is popular today more as a therapy. More people come to yoga to improve their physical conditions, to improve their mental conditions, to improve their emotional conditions. Yoga as a therapy is much more recent in the wonderful long history of yoga. Yoga is primarily an art and science of spiritual evolution. Yoga helps us unify all aspects of our very being. The physical body in which we live our daily life, the energy body without which we will not have the energy to do what we do, the mind body that sends the mind impulse, helping us to do the tasks with mindfulness, the higher mind, and finally the universal body. The physical, the energy, the mind, the higher mind, and finally the universal body. All of these bodies are unified by the very practice of yoga. Yoga helps bring about a union between the body, the emotions, and the mind. It can be said to be the science of right useness, using the body, using the emotions, using the mind in the right manner. One of the best definitions of yoga is that yoga is a way of life. It is not something you do for 5 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day. It is a 24-hour lifestyle. Yoga helps us to live better. Yoga helps us to think better. Yoga helps us to become better at whatever we are. The ultimate goal of yoga is spiritual evolution. Yet, in the modern world today, one of the major reasons people take up yoga is as a therapy. Illness, disease, and so many disorders are so common in this world that people want a remedy. They want relief from their suffering. According to the Bhagavad Gita, the ancient text which can be said to be the Yoga Shastra, Lord Krishna defines yoga as Dukkha Samyoga Viyogam Yoga Sangitam, meaning thereby that yoga is the disassociation from the union with pain. Pain, suffering, disease. Yoga offers a way out of all of this. One of the foremost concepts of yoga therapy is that the mind, which is called the Adi, influences the body, creating Vyadi or disease. This is known as the Adi Vyadi or Adija Vyadi, where the mind brings about the production of disease in the physical body. Nowadays, this is called psychosomatic illness. Virtually every problem that we face in our health today has either its origin in psychosomatics or is worsened by the psychosomatic aspect of the disease. The mind and the body seem to be fighting each other all the time. What the mind wants, the body doesn't do. What the body wants, the mind doesn't do. This creates a dichotomy, a disharmony, a dis-ease. Yoga, unifying the mind and the body along with the emotions, helps restore the balance, restoring equilibrium. These psychosomatic disorders that are so prevalent in today's world, they can be prevented, controlled, possibly cured with the sincere application of yoga as a therapy. Psychosomatic disorders go through 4 major phases. The first is the psychic phase, where it's all the stress in the mind. There's a jitteriness, there's a tension, a sense of not being at ease. If this continues, the psychic stage becomes a psychosomatic stage. Now at this stage, the mind and the body, they are troubling each other, and the body starts to have these temporary fluctuations, such as your blood pressure goes up, or your blood sugar goes up, or your heart rate goes up. And then if this is allowed to continue, it becomes a somatic stage, where it is settling in your body, and then you are having that condition permanently. It is a condition which requires treatment and therapy. The fourth of the stages is when all of this psychic, psychosomatic and somatic conditions have now settled into the organs, creating the organic stage of the disease, which could be termed virtually the end stage of the disease. Yoga therapy works excellently at the psychic and the psychosomatic stages. Once the disease comes into the somatic stage, yoga therapy, along with other therapies, can definitely help improve the condition. When it comes to the organic stage, yoga therapy's role may be more of palliative, pain relief, and rehabilitative nature. The major role of yoga is as a preventive therapy, preventing that which is to come. Maharishi Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras tells us, Heyam Dukkham Anagatam. Let us prevent those miseries that have yet to come. If yoga is taken up in the childhood itself, we can prevent so many conditions from occurring later on in life. This is primary prevention. Once a condition occurs, once the disease has set in, we have secondary prevention, which is more of the nature of controlling the condition to whatever extent we can. And then tertiary prevention, where once the condition has occurred, we try to prevent the complications, those complications that can affect the quality of life and even the quantity of life in our patients. I would like to conclude this introduction with a word of caution. Yoga therapy is not a magic therapy. It is not a one pill for all ills. There should be no false claims, tall claims made in this field, because yoga therapy is also a science. It has to be approached in a scientific step-by-step manner. It should be a one-on-one therapy where the therapist can modify the practices as per the individual requirements. It is not one size fits all or one therapy fits all. We need to take into consideration the age, the gender, the physical condition, as well as the condition of the disorder when we are applying yoga as a therapy. A step-by-step approach involving aspects of diet, involving aspects of our lifestyle, involving aspects of the way we think, involving yogic counseling. Well, all of these are part and parcel of yoga therapy. When such a yoga therapy is applied, I am sure that you will find tremendous changes in your life. The quality of life improves drastically, and in many cases, even the quantity of life improves. I wish you a wonderful time, a time where you can help evolve from that animal nature to the human, to the humane, and ultimately the divine nature through this wonderful art and science of yoga that now you are being introduced to as a therapy. I wish you a happy, a healthy, and a fruitful sadhana in yoga. Namaste.